Sound check. Great. So can you guys hear me? Okay, great. Sorry to disappoint you guys if you were expecting a woman named Karen, but I've caused that confusion a lot in the UK. So hope you guys are having a good day. Um, yeah, it's been better for me, at least compared to yesterday. I traded Dal long and AKRX short. So I'll just start with a bit of my background. Um, so I come from an M&A uh, related work. So I was with a mergers and acquisitions consulting firm. Um, so I used to deal with joint ventures and takeovers with a lot of finance and Excel analysis involved. So I left my job a couple of months back while I was working on an e-commerce project, and I got interested in trading. And since I knew Anmol, he sort of helped me out. He did guide me really well on how to go about it. But obviously, it's your own work. So yeah, and I've been putting up effort, I feel so, since then. So my sort of approach towards trading has been, I've been very conservative, I have to say that. So since I interacted with a lot of people, I realized that people tend to lose a lot of money, and I wasn't really keen to do that. I wanted to play it safe. So I tried to learn as much as I could, get all the theoretical knowledge, understand the charts, obviously, how they work. And then I tracked the results and traded the paper trading account for a really long time. I know a lot of people don't suggest that, but I did that for a really long time before I went live. Um, so what happened is, till that time, I had a proper track results. I had a spare sheet similar to the one Anmol was showing. So I tracked the results. I sort of had a fair idea of what's working for me and what's not working for me. Although the trading plan uh, it's still being worked on. I think it always will be worked on. So yeah, I had a fair idea of what kind of patterns are working for me and what kind of bias is better for me. So I stick to them. Yep. And once I perfect that particular style, I'll probably go ahead and add a couple of more strategies. So that's how I go about it. Yeah. So it's been a couple of months, and I'm trading really small as of now. What are my favorite setups? Yeah, I trade the buy setups and sell setups, but I know it's a very vague term, can be vague for anyone, but I have certain rules which I follow related to them. Uh, Suppose that if it's a buy setup, then pullback has to be in a very strong support area on a longer time frame. And if it's a sell setup, then the retracement has to be uh, onto a very strong resistance area. And I have strict rules related to the MAs as well. And I trade the climactics, so I don't trade the sell setups, climactic sell setups as much as I trade the buy setups. I feel more comfortable with that. I don't know, it's weird. Yeah. And I trade counter trend as well. So yeah, when you get a rapid, aggressive selling, and I like taking the next high low. I don't know if it makes sense the way I'm describing. So I like taking the next higher low, assuming there's like considering there's support on a higher time frame. And I like taking the breakouts and breakdowns also have strict rules regarding that. So I mainly just trade these patterns and a couple of gaps as well, mainly pro gaps. So I've trade a certain breakout or consolidation pattern sort of at the open. Yeah. So so I'll probably refine it as I go. And regarding the management, um, I aim for, I don't know, I think almost everyone knows Jared keeps scolding me. I know that's for good. And I sort of like the tough love mentality of the moderators. So I have a hard time holding on to the trades. So I aim for 2 to 1. Uh, yeah, and follow the MAs sort of, or the resistance area if I'm long on a higher time frame to decide my targets. But I aim for 2 to 1. Yeah, and I also try to raise my stop to around break even once I'm even. That means I'm 1 to 1 on the trade. Yeah, so basically that's the management I follow. But yeah, I have very few trades which are 2 to 1. I have to be frank. Yeah, so that's sort of my trading style. And as we all know, a new trader goes through a lot of struggle and tough times. So obviously trading can be hard on you emotionally and psychologically. And when I got started, from almost even the prior firm, from almost everywhere, I heard that people from finance are least likely to make good traders. And I was really happy. I could sort of, when I heard John speak, I even PM'd him that it was really good to hear you because he's probably the first person I heard coming from a finance background and being a very good trader. So it was good to hear him and interact with him. So yeah, when I got started, it's I think you probably tend to be overconfident, and once you start trading, uh, the market sort of keeps you humble, right? So I think the best way to deal with it is trade small if you're not sure. Maybe test the strategies or track them. Like I am trading a couple of open strategies at the moment. So once I have 30 to 40 uh, trades tracked, maybe I'll try it out small. So just test the strategies, and if you are comfortable with them, maybe trade small, and that's the way to go. So the only way we can be confident is, I feel, with preparation. So yeah, that's how I go about it. My biggest realizations also, okay, let me think. Yeah, it's probably been that markets are not easy. There are various factors. I think it's extremely evolving. I've also heard from people, and I probably believe that you need to change your trading styles a bit every couple of months. That's how quickly things change. A couple of setups might not even work certain times, and then you suddenly see, uh, for example, some time back we started seeing a lot of retests, and a normal PBS with a 50-60% retracement was very much not working. I mean, at least that's what I thought. So yeah, you need to be extremely disciplined, and I'm sure you know, but it's the work you put in after the hours matters. So that, I mean, it wasn't that tough for me because I was used to 12-hour working days at the consulting firm. So so I'm okay to put in that much work. But I still try to be fresh for the trading session, if you know what I mean. So I don't like putting a lot of work, so I'm tired before the session. And okay, one more note asked me, how do I set my stops? Yeah, so I evaluate the trade, uh, considering if I have to get 2 to 1 out of it. And if I look at the stop, suppose it's a 50-cent stop, and I don't think I can get $1 out of it, I try not to take it. Yeah, but I am big on tracking trades, so I really like what Anmol and Jared have prepared. So it's a very detailed tracking sheet. Even I was considering getting it because my tracking sheet doesn't tell me which days I'm the best or what times I'm the best, although I do track it as per the setup. And since I'm fairly good with the Excel, I do uh, track it. I make a sort of pivot table and filter the results, so I know a lot of detailed stuff about my trading. So I'm big on tracking the trades. So so I've got to know that if I have a bigger stop, so 50 cents or more, I am less likely to reach my target. So the trades are not as good as a smaller stop. So that is something um, I work on. But yeah, like I took AKRX, that was a big stop. But the setup was really good, so I couldn't help it. I think I got 1.5 R from it. Wasn't that bad. Yeah. My worst day ever. Um, Thankfully I've interacted with a lot of traders and uh, yeah, I get in touch with Anmol a lot, so I know what kind of mindset you need to be to trade well, and you need to really tame the devil, like emotionally and psychologically. So I don't try not to go crazy on my losing streaks and revenge trade a lot. But my worst day has been probably 2.5 hours down. Yeah. So probably not as much, but I am fairly conservative, so I'm big on not losing a lot of money. Yeah. So I think it's to say that whatever I've done is, or whatever I've learned in trading related to psychologically or emotionally technicals has been because of Anmol, Jared and Jay. Uh, I didn't know Jared and Jay that much, but Anmol has been really helpful. So he did guide me really well, even though he may have committed a few mistakes, but he made sure to point them out to me that I should not commit the same mistakes in my trading career. So that's something I appreciate a lot and I respect. And Jared and Jay, so I'm thankful to them for reviewing my trades. That's really helpful. In fact, I don't see anyone getting the trades reviewed. I know probably I'm the only newbie here, but I find that really helpful. So I know I must be bugging them a lot, but I try to get all my trades reviewed. Yeah. So do you guys have any other questions? Right. I don't think there are near traders than me in the room, but all I would say is that I know it's really hard because I've gone through it. It's hard to push yourself when you're trading for yourself, right? So I was used to uh, being in a firm while working in a team, and you have a lot of motivation, and your boss is calling you and sending you emails for deadlines. So that pushes you to work. I sort of work well in a stressful environment. Maybe it's just me. So it was, um, yeah, difficult initially, but if I motivate myself, so I find that works better. So that's something I would advise people to sort of stay disciplined, track all their trades, review the watch list, sorry, go through the charts at night, maybe for the next day. Um, yeah, and plan everything. So keep changing your trading plan and keep tracking it if it's working for you. Would you be getting better results if your management was a bit different, right? And if you are doing well with certain setups, then maybe you could take them more often. So tracking really helps. Let me just go through the questions. So my long-term goal is obviously to get better. At the moment, I mainly trade uh, intraday, so I just day trade, but I want to get better, learn more about options, uh, yeah, and start trading swing because I find that method slightly less stressful, and I think the reward to risk and reward to stress is slightly more in swings. So yeah, that's my long-term goal to get to that level. Yes, trader, I'm trading full time. Well, yeah, I think I put in about 10, 12 hours, probably 10 hours. So I wake up, journal my trades, look at the previous day's trades, and go through the watch list which I was looking at. If I missed down anything, what kind of setups I would have taken. Yeah, sort of critique my trades and go and get a quick workout and prepare the gap list and get started. So that's how I go about it. And after the day goes through, after the session, I probably read something about trading or attend some online seminars to interact with similar minded people and learn a few more things. Yeah, I've heard as trader that finance people have a tougher time, probably because they are used to being successful or they are used to being aggressive. So, markets don't know your personality or the kind of person you are, how aggressive you are. So I felt that when I was working, uh, you know, at the negotiation table or when you're giving a presentation, your personality, your confidence, all those things matter. And your seniors send you an appreciation email for probably the soft skills or your performance on a presentation, but market is not going to reward you for that. So, so I feel that you're used to a certain life in finance and you're used to being successful. You have a lot of ego, maybe. So market keeps you humble, I think. So that is a sort of uh, contrast from that part of the career. Right. One more note. So as I said, that I aim for 2 to 1 on the day trades, and if the stop size is favorable to that sort of reward, then I take the trade. But I almost never take the trade if the reward is only 1 to 1. Yeah. So I don't think there are any other questions. Yeah. So I hope you're having a good time in the training room, and I hope we keep doing well. I know some of the traders have been out of form. Uh, yes, I've seen Anmol do much, much better uh, than he's doing these days. So I hope he's back to his form and you can see him make a couple of grand. Yeah. So, okay, Neil, how would you fill in falling to sentence always, always, always do this? Wow. I can't say one thing. So I'm a major proponent of tracking your trades and sticking to your plan. So I think since we are working by ourselves, it's tough to be motivated. So as disciplined and systematic we are, it's going to be better. So if we track our trades, we know exactly how performance is, and keep modifying your plan once you're used to a certain strategy and once you perfected it. So maybe add a couple of more strategies after backtesting it or tracking it. So yeah, I can say always, always track your trades and journal them. And never, well, I can, that's an easy one. So I would say never, never revenge trade. But I know that's tough for everyone. But I have strict rules regarding that as well. So in my trading plan, I have that I will never trade the same stock again in the same day unless uh, it was a bad entry due to slippage or I didn't reach my stop. So I exited the trade myself. So I have strict rules regarding that. So I think revenge trade is what kills you, blows your account and gets you up to the max loss limit if it's a prop account. So yeah, that's what I feel. But I feel that there are much more experienced traders here, which so I'm just starting. It's been a couple of months. Uh, yeah, Michael, the other resources. Well, since trading self-fulfilling prophecy is big, so I try to look at resources where other traders might be trading. So say Twitter or StockTwits. Uh, yeah, I do look at that if some particular stock, like Gene was big some time back and RX was big. So they have like a top 10 list. So I do look at that, but that's not the exhaustive resource for me. Yeah, and probably NASDAQ or briefing uh, for gaps or upgrades or downgrades, but I don't find that reliable, so I wouldn't bother about it. Yeah, or maybe you would look at the earnings. So which companies are coming out with the earnings, but it's not the efficient form maybe because if it's a good gap, it would anyway show on your gap scanner. So that's what I feel. Yeah, I agree. One more note. So if you follow the right people, yeah, they can alert you. Yeah, to a certain setup. Maybe a climactic is uh, it's a climactic watch and you haven't seen it. So yep. But I try not to keep a lot of windows open. So I just have three monitors. So I try not to keep a lot of windows open. I find that very distracting. So I try to keep my trading simple, stick to certain setups, track them well, and yeah, get better as soon as possible. Alright, thanks guys. Uh, Thanks for listening to me and Light Traders for giving me the opportunity to come here and talk to you guys. How many stocks I follow? So for gaps, I try to look at maybe 10 to 15 gaps in total, but I probably only focus on two or three at open, maybe in the first 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, so try to do not more than that. Yeah, so I hope uh, you guys have a good rest of the day and the live traders keeps doing well. Uh, yeah, the traders get back to their 5-digit trading days. I know they have been distracted because of the new site. So thanks guys. I'll catch you guys soon. Take care.